Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Dharani the Practical AI. So far we built a fast API backend and connected it with the React frontend. In today's video we will learn about prompt engineering end to end. Let's get started. So what is prompt engineering? Why we need a prompt engineering? So prompt engineering is simply giving the model a clear instruction so it produces the output you want consistently. So it is actually a skill of structuring instruction so that AI produces better and predictable outputs. So the small change can lead to large improvement in quality. So there are a few things that we have to understand. First is be specific. So there are two different prompts: weak prompt and better prompt. For example, weak prompt users usually gives improve this text or give me some example, something like that. If the prompt is not exact correct one, so the model has to guess what it have to improve. So that is the weak prompt. And better prompt is we are giving a correct instruction to the model. For example, rewrite the following text in professional tone while preserving its meaning. So if you give a proper text, so it will automatically produce the proper output. So it is basically a better prompt. Second one is defining the rule. So we have to tell the model who it should act as. So for example, you are telling the model as you are an experienced technical editor, so rewrite the following explanation so that a non-technical audience can understand it. So this kind of instruction will influence the style and expertise. The third one is specify the output format. So LLMs are much more reliable when you define the structure. Instead of summarize this text, you use summarize the article in exactly 3 bullet points, or extract the following information and return the valid JSON only. So something like that, it will be useful for AI applications. The fourth one is provide the constraints. So we have to tell the model that what not to do. So for example, you are asking the model to rewrite the email professionally. So here you can give the constraints like keep it under 100 words, preserve all factional information, and don't add new details. So this constraints basically improve the consistency. The fifth one is use the delimiters. So delimiters is nothing but it separate the instructions from your user input. So instead of fixed grammar, I saw fixed grammar yesterday, something like that. Instead of that, use correct the grammar of the text between the triple quotes. So this is the triple quote, something the delimiter. If you give that delimiter, so it will understand this is the user input and this reduce the ambiguity. Next, sixth is give the examples. So if you want a specific style, you have to show some example. So for example, I love this product, which means it's a positive. This is terrible, it's a negative. So next prompt, if you give this app crashes every time when I open it, so the output will be obviously negative. So we are just giving the some examples to teach the pattern. Seventh one is break the complex task into steps. So, for example, analyze this business problem. Instead of giving this, you use this. Perform the following steps. Identify the main problem. List the possible causes. Suggest 3 solutions and recommend the best option with justification. So, if you give these kind of instructions, LLM perform better with structured reasoning. So this is the simple template. What you have to, this will apply for all your problems or prompts. So this is a simple template that you can use it. First, you have to provide the role. For example, consider you're a expert React developer and you just finish this task, something like that. The task you give and the context behind that, and constraint. So constraint is this is applicable for these people, something like that. And output format, it will be a JSON or bullets or it's HTML format. And then input is your actual problem. So if you give this simple template, it will be easy for you to get all the details instead of doing multiple times. The eighth one is common mistake. These are the common mistakes that users are facing when they giving the prompts. They are giving too vague details like make this better, improve this, something like that. So you have to be very specific, like you have to give a better prompt. And then second one is no constraint. Simply users give rewrite this in email. So you have to give constraint like rewrite this email, it should contain only 100 characters, don't lose the meaning of that. So some constraints you have to give. So the model may change the important details if you just give without any constraints. The third one is expecting the structured output without asking. For example, extract the data, but you're expecting to return the JSON value, but you're simply giving extract the data. So instead of that, extract this information and return the valid JSON only. So this will give you a proper one. Next, these four are the different types of prompting. So the first one is zero prompting. So zero prompting is nothing but a model a task without any example. So it's a simple task. You just give fixed grammar, something like that. So this is a zero shot prompting. Second one is few shot prompting. So we are first providing the existing examples first, then ask the model to continue the same pattern. So if you want a consistent styling, then you can go with the few shot prompting. The third one is chain of thought prompting. So chain of thought prompting is basically it encourages the model to reason through steps before answering it. Basically, this is useful for problem solving, complex thought, and multi-step analysis. So the fourth one is role prompting. Role prompting is nothing but it's a defining the role. Defining the role like consider you're a React expert, so solve this problem, something like that. You're just assigning the role to the AI model. So these are the basics of prompt engineering. I hope this video is helpful. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.